Time flies. Time won't wait for anybody. It won't wait for you to get ready. It won't wait for you until you feel motivated. It will keep going, whether you're ready or not. I couldn't believe that it's been about 2 years since I started this podcast. I couldn't believe that how fast time flies. 2 years ago, before I started this podcast, I kept making excuses to procrastinate to get started. I would come up with something like this. Oh, nobody would listen to this. I need a better headphone. I need a better microphone. I needed a website. I needed to wait until I got ready. So on and so on. And I remember during my first year, I only got a few downloads for each episode. And it went like that for a whole year. Could you imagine doing something for a year without seeing any progress? In a way that I'm glad that I didn't know that I have to put in the work for over a year until it took off, until I started seeing progress. Because that's how I kept going and going and going, because I told myself that, hey, it would get better tomorrow. It would get better next week. It would get better next month. So kept going. But I didn't know it would take me about a year. So sometimes it's good that you don't know when you will succeed, because that's how you will keep going. That's how you keep putting in the work. Could you imagine if you start something today and if you knew in advance that you're not going to succeed until 3 years later? It would be hard for you to put in the work, because most simply not willing to put in the work that long. We live in the world that instant gratification. I want it now. I want it right away. Most simply not willing to wait. But I remember during my first year, there were so many times that I wanted to give up. There were so many times that I felt disappointed. I felt discouraged. There were so many days that I didn't want to do anything. That's all I wanted to do, is to give up. So the reason that I mentioned this is that if you have a passion, if you have something that within you that you always wanted to get started, then just do it. Just begin. And you will experience so many days that when you don't feel like it, you will experience discouraged along the way. But you will succeed in the end. So keep going. It can feel very overwhelming if you just look at the top of the mountain and think about all the tasks and steps that you need to take to get there. It could feel very overwhelming. So the best way to overcome that overwhelming feeling is to just focus on one thing at a time. Don't try to figure everything out. Stop the need to control your future, to know in advance. Just let go. You have a plan how you get to your goals, but you're also open to any possibility along the way. Because as you know, 9 out of 10, life will turn out different than the way you and me want it turned out to be. So it's good to have a goal in mind, but it's also important to have an open mind to accept everything that life throws at you, open to any possibility along the way. It's already a month in 2023. Have you started your dreams yet? It's already February in 2023. Have you taken the first step towards your goals, your greatness? Do you remember the promise that you told yourself a month ago, that you would get started on this passion, that you would get started on this purpose? Whatever that you have in your mind, whether it's career, health, relationship, spiritual, whatever that is that you want to get started. Do you remember that promise? Or do you just keep telling yourself that you will do it tomorrow? Don't wait for a perfect moment to start. Start now and make the moment perfect. Don't worry about perfection. What's important is the momentum. The sooner you get the ball rolling, the sooner your life will change. Yes, you will make mistakes, but that's a part of the process. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Don't wait until you feel like it to get started. Fear is always there. It's a part of life. Don't bullshit yourself by saying that you'll get started when you have less fear or no fear. You'll feel the fear and do it anyway. Just do it. Many times we are afraid of making mistakes, but don't you know that the cost of not getting started is way greater than the cost of making mistakes? Because the sooner you make mistakes, the sooner you will learn, and the sooner you will get to your goal. So don't make a mistake of not getting started. Don't make a mistake of afraid of making mistakes. Failure is part of the process. So my friend, time won't wait for you or me to get ready, to fully prepared, until you feel like it, or motivated, until you feel happy, until you feel it is the right time. The best day is today. The best time is now. You simply just get started. Just fucking do it. Don't worry about when or if you succeed or not. What more important is you have that passion. You have that desire within you. That's your gift. Start giving that gift to the world. Start exploring it. Start today, start now while you still have that passion, that enthusiasm within you. Because you will never know if you still have that passion tomorrow. Because you will never know if tomorrow will come. If life still gives you a chance to live tomorrow. Don't let that passion die in you like most people. Most people wait until someday that will arrive in the future. They keep making excuses after excuses after excuses and never get started on their dreams. So don't wait. Get the ball rolling. Yes, you'll fail. Yes, you'll make mistakes. Yes, people will laugh at you. Yes, you'll be humble. And then what? Life goes on. And eventually, with enough time and effort, you will win. And you will succeed. Remember that. Life is short. Don't let that passion die within you. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you got any value out of this, appreciate your reviews. That will help me reach out more to the world. And never forget that you are a badass, fearless warrior. And until next time, thank you.